Hi there, Taurus. Happy August. This is a general reading for Taurus for the August 1st through the 15th of 2020. Welcome to my new channel, As I See You Tarot. I have already did the cards and asked for our angels and spirit guides for our blessings. This is a general reading for the first 15 days of August for Taurus. It's hopefully it does whatever resonates fits. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. It could be you. It could be someone significant. It also depends on what your sun rising signs are. And again, it's more for the collective. This is a 5-card pool here. Okay. So we start out here in this first 15 days. This is an immediate past influence. This represents your immediate sort of present. This is your sort of immediate future. This is challenges, immediate challenges. Doesn't mean they are going to happen. It just means that it's something to be mindful of or to be aware of. And these are sort of immediate outcomes that can arise. So we start here with the Page of the Pentacles. What this sort of tells me, I'm getting the message that there's been some inspiration, or you had some inspiration, or we're in the initial stages of some kind of project or creative project or venture. Usually the Pentacles rule material sort of realm and correspond to Earth. They often symbolize sort of an awareness of money and wealth and possessions and career. And material blessings. This sort of tells me that perhaps you just welcome some new material things in your life. Perhaps it was a new job or a new business or a financial windfall, or you've been wanting to discover how to turn your dreams into sort of a reality. You've been thinking about sort of your future. It suggests that you might have been You might have been tapping into your ability to sort of look at your goals and your dreams that you perhaps put on hold for some, or even hobbies. Perhaps you were looking at some sort of educational online experience or actual school training, official school training, and that you've been excited about some possibilities, and it's sort of you're focused on that sort of attention. However, it says the page here doesn't necessarily signify there's a fulfillment of those dreams. It tells me that there's been sort of initial motivation and energy to begin the process of that, and you've been desiring to make that a reality. I don't get the feeling that it's been accomplished yet. It's been talked about or thought about, and this when this card shows here, it's basically saying that if you apply sort of common sense and you take a pragmatic approach to it, you could achieve it. So, go with your intuition, and you could have a good outcome. As we move into your current present, this is the Magician, and of course, the Magician is a major arcana card, and this card. This is interesting. The Magician is a master at manifesting things. It symbolizes, it brings tools to you. It brings resources and energy to make your dreams come true. So if you have been thinking about those dreams, now it's sort of giving you the tools, or saying the tools are there for you to start them, and there's no need to procrastinate, and that everything you need right now is literally at your fingertips. So if it's something that you've been wanting to do, the spirit guides are basically saying it's right in front of you, and there's no time better than now. So you can manifest your desires. Think positive, and remember that the laws of attractions, I believe, is really there. If you want to achieve something, feel it and feel how much you want it, how it's going to make you happy, and visualize and believe that you've attained it, and the universe will pretty much answer those questions for you, or resolve that for you. it's just believe in yourself. I get the feeling here that the spirit guides are saying it's the perfect time to move forward on those projects, or whatever it is that you had recently conceived, and that whatever you've been thinking about, it's sort of like you planted that seed, and now you need to carry it out and grow it. So that it's very good. It's telling me that the skills, knowledge that you have, and you've been preparing for is there, and now it's time to sort of turn whatever that is into your reality. And in your request, it's basically saying, manifest your goals and ask the universe. If you're not familiar with laws of attraction, there's plenty of videos on YouTube about laws of attraction, and that may help you sort of visualize and to articulate what it is that you're wanting to achieve. Because right now, this is saying it is the time to do it. And whether you're motivated by your ego or money, status, or fame, or soul connection, or your intentions, this is saying it's very powerful, and it's very creative, and you have the opportunity to take advantage of it right now. And this is very good, and it's just saying, as long as you're clear about what it is that you want and why you want it, how is it going to make you feel if you attain that or achieve that or have that relationship. How you have to be able to articulate how you feel, and hopefully it's going to make you happy, or it's going to make you feel good, and you have to believe and think in terms of that you have it right now, and that sets the universe in motion here. So very interesting. That's very good. Now here in your immediate future, you have the Five of Swords. So when this turns up, it suggests that there's, perhaps you had a falling out or a disagreement, or there was a conflict, and you're walking away, and perhaps, something occurred with a family member or a significant other or a coworker, and you've had a sort of a sense of loss. And I'm getting the feeling for some that perhaps you've been upset and even maybe have felt resentful over heated words or the disagreement or the interaction that you had. And perhaps there's it's just it's ruined or soured some relationships that you had, and you've been thinking about that. This here's it's telling me that the spirit guides are sort of saying that if you happen to be the one who won the argument or came out ahead of that argument, it's pride isn't perhaps the best thing to hang on to right now, because it's basically saying that if you held your ground for whatever reason, perhaps the battle has cost, and it involves trust and respect and sort of dignity, and perhaps that's isolated you now, and that could be the feeling of sadness that you might be experiencing, or again, that's for some of you who may have had that sort of argument or disagreement with somebody close to you, and it's basically saying you haven't resolved the conflict, even though you may have won the argument, but there's still some resolution within yourself, and perhaps maybe you've even put distance from that person more than needed to be. If that's the case, the spirit guides are saying, they're asking you to sort of ask yourself what's important to you, and are you willing to put those relationships in jeopardy over this? And can you see a compromise, and can you reach an agreement, and perhaps even swallow pride? Usually when the Five of Swords shows up here, it's saying pick your battles. It's suggesting that perhaps you're tempted to fight every conflict to assure you get your way, and to prove that you're right or defend yourself when you're feeling sort of challenged and threatened. However, the Five of Swords basically says take a step back, and to choose your battles wisely is a much better approach than engaging in every disagreement. It suggests that if you be mindful of that, it will lead to more peaceful existence within yourself, and your interpersonal relationships are likely to come out stronger. The Five of Swords here indicates that you are competing with others on a path to success for some reason, and whatever that success may be. if you see them as threats to your own happiness, you'll seek to win at any cost, and it's just sort of saying, to perhaps evaluate that, and it's telling me, that if this resonates with you and you've been in some sort of conflict, that right now you might be feeling it's taking your toll, or it's going to be taking its toll, and this Five of Swords here is sort of the invitation to apologize, to make good. And it's sort of saying the longer that you sort of brood and the more you try to prove that you were right, the more challenging the relationship's going to become, that you're feeling sad about. And just be ready to say you were wrong and make amends. That's what's that's important, and that's sort of probably will alleviate how you're feeling, and things will be good. There's no sense to keep trying to justify your behavior. This card is basically saying, to just to move on, and we know, Taurus, that you can be that bullheaded and stubborn, and this is basically saying that this isn't the time for that. Look for a common ground, and seek forgiveness and put it behind you. You'll be better for it. This is our challenge card, your immediate challenge, and here we have the Seven of Swords, and usually this indicates that some sort of theft or betrayal or deception or trickery, and this could be related to what we were just talking about here. However, it could indicate that you might have involved or portrayed those behaviors, not necessarily somebody else. So I'm not sure on which party that may have been, but it's something to think about. It's suggesting that perhaps either you or someone significant you were with were sneaking around behind your back, or you behind their back, or hoping to be undetected. And there's some sort of trickery, and the idea of getting away with something, and perhaps you might have got away with it, or you may get away with it, but this is saying here that the challenge is that sort of behavior is going to come out, and you're going to have to face this challenge, or that other person's going to have to face this challenge that they were doing it to you, and there's it's going to be shame and embarrassment. So this is sort of giving caution that to be aware, that anytime you use cunning or deception to gain an advantage over someone else, you are at risk of being found out. And even if you're not, the cover-up will be a tremendous amount of effort, and it's not going to be worth it for you. It's going to take its toll. Excuse me. If that wasn't involved in you, there's perhaps for some that may be a sense of betrayal, and I'm picking up that perhaps others are not being candid with you, and you may be unaware that there's some lies and deception going around you. It's someone you may trust, perhaps is turning out to be running their own agenda, and has left you high and dry, or will leave you high and dry, or you're feeling that. This is sort of saying, if that resonates with you, and that's something that your intuition's been telling you, this is time to sort of look out for that sort of sneaky behavior and listen to your intuition. Don't jump to conclusions, but listen and be mindful, and sort of do your homework. If something doesn't feel right or seems too good to be true, this is giving fair warning and being mindful. On the positive note, the Seven of Swords here points out that it's good to be strategic in what you do, and be mindful again. And it also says, reminds you sort of that you can't do everything at once, and to prioritize what's important to you, and direct your focus and attention on the few tasks or the most critical things, and pick your battles again. So something to think about there. I'm also picking up that there's be careful using shortcuts or using shortcuts to get what you want, because that can basically backfire as well, and you may not get the outcome that you want, and could cause more potential challenges for you. So just something to think about there. In our outcomes, we have the Moon. Now, the Moon is a major icona card itself, And the moon here represents, in general, fears and illusions, and often comes out when you're projecting fear into a present or your future situation, or an issue, and based on past experiences you might have had. So, perhaps you had a painful memory, or you haven't gotten over some sort of emotional distress, and rather than dealing with those emotions, perhaps you sort of pushed them aside, or bury them to your subconscious, and this is now sort of saying, your emotions are making a reappearance for some reason, and or you're having thoughts of those sort of emotions, or bringing them up, or something's triggering them, and their influence on your conscious, or is on subconscious, is bringing it consciously, or is bringing it to your conscious. For instance, in, like if you had a car accident when you were young, and all of a sudden something happens now, and something just triggers that, and you sort of connect to that experience, and release the fears and anxieties, and that all of a sudden is coming to the surface. The moon here can indicate a time of uncertainty and illusion, and when nothing is what it seems, and it could also be exaggerating things. It sort of heightens our emotions, and our moods, and it's being mindful of and being careful of making fast decisions when the moon appears, because later you can realize that you only had half of the information that you needed, and your assumptions weren't correct. So it's using caution and using common sense before you react is key here. And although it is important to listen to you and trust your intuition, but you also have to make sure at the facts, and to find that sort of balance, and feel your way into situations rather than thinking something is what it is, without, again, sort of facts. It suggests that to let go of sort of the conscious mental blocks that we can carry, and negative self-talk, and allow your intuition to guide you, and to trust that intuition, or at least use it. The When the moon sort of shows up here in your reading, it's also, spirit guides are saying, pay closer attention to the lunar cycles that have been taking place. And we know the new moons here in August have been quite significant, and just a week ago, and it's using the power of ritual and meditation, connect to to meditation, and if you were doing that and you sort of dropped it off, it's saying sort of get back into it, and even if it's 5 minutes in the morning, just calm your mind, and think of laws of attraction, and what is that you want to attract, and look for things that are positive and that make you feel good, and that will plant the seeds of opportunity, and can change your whole perspective, and not concentrate necessarily on negative things. So my Taurus, that is again your general reading for the larger collective. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, it could be someone that's significant to you, and or look at your sun rising signs. And again, I thank you for coming to my channel as I See You Tarot, for your August 1st through the 15th, 2020 general reading. I appreciate it. This is a new channel, and I thank you very much for your support. And to help with the Google algorithms, I would definitely appreciate your support in clicking the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification buttons. This will greatly help me perfect the channel, and keep me going, and I would appreciate that. So Taurus, have a great August, and we'll see you in a bit. Thank you.